my Heather Boyd Wire channel. I do that every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We do Wire Lady TV. And my new routine is to hop over to the art channel and do some live stream on the art. So just a short one, just to show you guys what I'm working on. And this is just a hobby channel for me. I have a lot of fun with it. You guys have fun with the art tutorials when I do them. So I'm going to do some challenges coming up soon. Let me know if you want to participate in a 10-day challenge on the art channel. So I just went to my neighbors and got these beautiful irises from her garden. Thank you, Rosemary, for letting me take a couple of flowers today. Your garden is beautiful. Rosemary doesn't have grass in her front yard. She just has a beautiful flower garden, and it's amazing. So her daughter Catherine said I could come over, and I knocked on the door, and they were very generous to give me some flowers. Hi Mustafa, how are you? So I'm going to go ahead and flip the screen, and then we're going to just do a bit of painting for fun. And I'm just going to do this. Make sure I have the right, there we go. Bring that around and see how we're doing. So let me come around. So the lighting's not great today. It's a little bit gray. You should be able to see some of the paintings that I've been working on. I'm actually taking an acrylic painting class because I don't feel very practiced with acrylic. I'm not great at acrylic. I'm not great with colors. And so, so these are some exercises that we did. I'm doing great. Thanks, Mustafa. It was nice to see you on the Wire channel too. So this was a color wheel that we did, just a basic color wheel. And this is interesting because it shows you the difference. Just a basic cadmium red and then a basic cadmium yellow. But then when you use two different blues, it's what a difference it makes in the color of green that it creates. So I'm not great with colors, so I'm really appreciating this class. Some of these got really, really dark, but you can see with the, this is the cyan, which is more like a sky blue type of thing. So it makes a different kind of purple, more of a darker teal purple than this one. The ultramarine makes a much more vibrant purple. And then in the greens, the ultramarine makes a more earthy green, whereas the cyan blue makes a more bright, kind of almost like a lime green. So color theory is very, very interesting and complicated. And then if you mix all the colors together, you get like a gray tone. So that's interesting. Hi, Kristen. So if you guys don't know, World Peas is my sister, Kristen. So happy you're here. It helped to change the quality of the settings. Yes. So guys, if you have trouble with the settings, you could go into the video quality and change it to the highest number to get the best quality live stream. Hi, Mirta. Nice to see you. Yeah, color circle. Exactly. Oh, and you posted your paintings in the Facebook group, so I'll definitely check that out. Mustafa, I'd love to see your paintings. So here again, color theory, mixing the colors, all the different colors. These are supposed to be gray, but I didn't quite work out too well. This one maybe is the best gray, but the other ones were a little bit too green. So that takes practice. And then we also did like this very abstract, warm-ish background. And next week, we're going to go in with a stencil and put something else on top. So that's what I'm working on. This is Pat Morris's painting class. So that's super fun. And then today, I'm just going to do some irises. So here is my canvas. I didn't have time to prep it with gesso. Usually I would put gesso on it, but I didn't have time. Connie says the quality is much better when it's changed. Awesome. So guys, if it's blurry, go ahead and change the video quality because that makes a big difference. And that was Randy that told me about that. So that's cool. And so here we're going to get out our paints. These are just a bunch of paints that my friend Patricia gave me. The acrylic paints, and there's some, I'm just going to use some basic colors. I don't want to get too complicated with this. So I'll use more of the primary colors. This one is raw sienna. That's a good color. So I'm going to use raw sienna, and I'll see what else we have. Yeah, acrylics are great because they dry really fast, and that's also the challenge with them because you have to know how to use them. This is a nice earthy green. This is like a oh boy, I can't even read that. It says emerald fata cyan. Oh, I cannot pronounce these. cannot pronounce these names. So there's that. And then yellow ochre, of course, is a good one. So we got yellow ochre. And then we have, is this the, oh, my lid fell off. This is like a cadmium yellow. So this is a good medium yellow. And then we want the cadmium red. So this is a good medium red. Yeah, and then we should have, here is a purple. So that's, I'm going to also use the purple. And I will get, there's a couple of different blues. So here's, this looks like ultramarine, but it also, yeah, it is ultramarine. I'm getting good at my colors. And then these were more like a teal blue. Oh, no, this is like a green. Oh, these are iridescent blue. This is like a turquoise. So that's pretty too. I don't know if I'll use it. I'll keep it at the side. And then this one is cyan. So these are the ones that I used in that color wheel, which are really cool. And then this is more a lemon yellow. Yeah, it says primary yellow. It's like a lemon yellow because the cadmium yellow is a warmer yellow. So yeah, it's really tricky getting to know the colors and how they work. And this one is, it's burnt umber. Yeah, burnt umber is a good one too. So all these basic, I don't really use a lot of black. So I won't use black. This is magenta, a primary magenta. So these are what they consider to be the primary colors, or like cyan, primary yellow, and magenta. So those are considered primary colors. And then other than that, I think I'm gonna leave these rest of them at the side. So we're good. This is more like a, this is probably a, interesting green. It says cadmium green hue. That's an interesting green. It's a pretty green. So maybe I'll keep that one out too. And then this one is just a basic green. So I'll keep some of these out as extras, but I think I'm going to stick with kind of these basic colors that I'll keep at the side. And then for my palette, I just covered a plate with saran wrap. So we're going to do that. And sienna, yeah. So yeah, some of these colors are just beautiful. So I'm going to move these over, and then what I'm drawing is the lilies, which you can't really see because they're off the screen, but I am going to take a sip of water. Hi, Marilee, nice to see you on the art channel. She says, hey, Heather, I'm just starting watercolors. Awesome. Well, that's great because I have a lot of watercolor tutorials on my channel because that's actually my favorite medium is watercolor. So let me move this one down a bit. This one, so we're on screen so you can see my palette. And I am going to look at my irises. I'm going to bring them a little bit closer. These ones I'm going to pull one out so you guys can see it. So these are these beautiful irises from my neighbor. Hopefully you can see them. There we go. I'm going to bring them over a little closer so I can see them. And then I'm going to try to draw them. They're not at my eye level, so I'm actually going to bring them a little bit closer, and I'm going to put them, how can I do this? So I might actually put them on a chair because otherwise I'm going to have trouble seeing them. Let me just see. Just getting set. Sometimes just setting up is the hardest part. Actually, you know what? You guys can't see, but I have a hole in my table. So I'm actually going to put them in the hole beside my table, and that might work. I think that's going to work really, really well. So if we have those here, and then I'm going to draw them because otherwise they're not in a place that I can see them. So you guys can't see, but maybe if I bring it over here, you can kind of see. Yeah, so they're in a hole in my table. Okay. Yeah, green is a secondary color because it's a combination of yellow and blue. Yes, that's what, for sure, definitely. Yeah, we learn all that in school. I mean, they teach you the primary and the secondary colors, but then it gets a lot more complicated when you really investigate color theory, for sure. So I'm just gonna go ahead. And I'm honestly, disclaimer, not great at acrylics. So this is definitely going to be a learning curve. And this isn't going to be like my regular wire live streams where I know what I'm talking about and I'm teaching you guys, because this is me trying to troubleshoot the paint. And I might have moments like large moments of silence where I don't say anything and I'm just going to play around with it. But I just want to just play around. When I draw, I try to look at what I'm drawing more than looking at the surface of what I'm drawing. So I'm actually looking more at the iris. This is something you'll learn. We did like a 10-day right brain challenge. I can link up those tutorials in the description, but basically in the 10-day right brain challenge, you learn how to draw in a way that you're not thinking about what you're drawing more as you're just following the shapes with your eyes and letting your right brain do the work. Because when you start like saying to yourself, oh, that doesn't look like a flower, that doesn't look like a petal, then our left brain kicks in and just crushes our creativity. So if you let your right brain do the drawing and just follow the lines with your eyes and let your hand follow suit, then you can have a lot more success with getting a quote unquote good drawing. So I highly recommend the book Drawn from the Right Side of the Brain, because that's where I learned a lot about creativity and not being critical about, drawing things and trying to make everything look perfect. So it's a great, great book, a great reference. So we're going to just keep going around, following the shapes of the irises. This actually reminds me, doing these close-up flowers reminds me of the work of Georgia O'Keeffe, who did gorgeous, gorgeous, large-scale flower paintings. I forget what year Georgia O'Keeffe painted. I guess maybe in the 40s. If anybody knows anything about art history, correct me. She was an American artist and she did beautiful, beautiful flower paintings. She also lived in the kind of desert area and did a lot of skulls and yeah, really beautiful work. So now this is going to have to go off the paper because I'm running out of room here. So we're just going to bring that one around. Try not to go too quickly, but it can happen that I go quickly. So if we have this one, and then we bring this one down, and then there was another petal out this way. And I probably won't even finish this drawing, painting. I'm just going to play around with it and just go for it. And, I don't reply to your comments. It just means that I'm a little bit focused on what I'm doing, and I'll definitely, have a look back and see what you guys are saying. And if you want to paint along with me, grab your paints and paint along with me. That would be really fun too. And then Mustafa, I'll definitely look at your work in the art page. We have the Heather Boyd Art on Facebook. It's just a private group for people that I know. If I know you and you want to join the group, go ahead and look on Facebook for Heather Boyd Art. So that's just sort of like a basic shape, and then you can go ahead and bring down, for a stem. And then if you want to do a leaf, but because the leaf I have is too low down, what I can do is bring this one over. I have another, you can't see, but I have another one in my hand. So I'm going to just bring it over and just follow the leaf. Even though it doesn't, belong here, I still want to have a leaf in the picture. So I just got a leaf from elsewhere and I'm just going to bring it around there. So very basic. Like I said, I didn't gesso my canvas, so it actually might not work very well at all. But then you can go ahead and see what colors you need. So I'm going to bring this one over here. And Mustafa says, what GSM paper is this? So this is a canvas. This is actually a prepared canvas that I got at the dollar store. And Yeah, it's not paper. You could paint with watercolor paper if you wanted to as well. If you were going to paint on watercolor paper, you would want to tape it down so it doesn't buckle, and either use a 140 pound or 300 pound watercolor paper. So now I'm just going to put a bunch of colors on here. Trouble with acrylics is they dry so quickly. So I might want to try with some, I don't know, I'd maybe not want to put all my colors on there, but I'm just going to start by putting just a tiny bit. So we have the two yellows. You see the difference between the lemon yellow and the cadmium yellow? There's quite a huge difference. And then I want to put the colors that I'm going to need for the lily. So there's going to definitely be some reds in there. There's going to be purple. There's going to be some ultramarine and more ultramarine, I would say, than the other blue. But now I have to see where I actually put that ultramarine, because now it seems to have disappeared. Here it is. So there we go. We've got that. And like I said, I'm not a master of color by any means. I really am just learning about it. So the other thing I forgot was my paper towel. So I'm going to go grab the paper towel and see what I can do. Sometimes I use a cloth and sometimes I just use a paper towel. So we just got a little bit of paper towel here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just go for it. And I actually need to probably watch some acrylic tutorials because it's not my forte by any means. I'm just gonna see if I have some more pinkish ones. This one is Carmen. Like Carmen is another color of red, so we're going to put a little bit of that one. That's a nice red, so maybe we'll use that one. The other one's a little bit orange. The cadmium one is a little orange. This one's okay, Mustafa says, okay, you call it pound there, we call it GSM. Yeah, they do mark it as GSM as well here. I just always call it 140 pound or 300 pound. But yeah, I think, I don't know what GSM starts. Grams, is it grams? I don't know what that stands for, but let me know if you know what that stands for, because I'm not really sure. Now I'm adding a little bit of water to this, and I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to mix my own purple first to see what it does, and I'm just going to like play with this. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I really do not. So I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm going to just bring this one around. See, that's too watery for acrylic. Acrylic should not be that watery at all. And there also seems to be that they put white in it as well. Whereas with watercolor, you don't use white, right? So with, I'm going to even add purple. I'm just going to play. So yeah, with watercolor, you don't add white at all. But with acrylic, you can. So let's play with it. Let's just play. Let's get some white, because I don't usually use white, but now I want to actually try to find some white. Do I have white? I mean, surely they gave me white. Let's see. What's this one? There we go, titanium white. So let's get that. And if this turns out to be a hot mess, so be it, because I do not know what I'm doing. But I have no problem with that. So it definitely looks like there's white in here. So we're going to add some white. The lighting today is terrible. Oh my goodness, so bad. So we're going to go in here, take a little bit more white. And you see how it makes like a really cool effect. So let's just bring this one in right around there. Yeah, that's why I'm really happy I'm taking this class, because I don't know a lot about acrylics. So I do know that we need something a little bit brighter in there. I don't know if there's any, if we have any actual pink. I don't think there was any pink, not really. So we're just going to go ahead and get a little bit more red in there. And let's get, maybe it makes a little bit more purple. There we go. But it's dark, so we're going to have to add some, we're going to have to add a little bit more white. Ooh, that's way dark. I don't know what we're doing with that one. And like I said, the lighting today is really bad. So I think I'm going to have to get some decent lights, because this is not too conducive to painting, because it's very dark. And this, yeah, see, it's getting muddy now. So what I'm gonna do now is actually remove some of that paint. Paint on leather with acrylics. That's a good idea. Ooh, that's interesting. So now let's just pick some of that up because it's getting really, really, yeah, I should probably do this with watercolor. That would be more my jam. I would definitely try a watercolor with these because the acrylic is not my thing. So what if we just start with a bit of white, because there seems to be a lot of white in there. This is interesting. When you start quite light, okay, we're going to start quite light, and then we can add some of our purple. But this mixed purple is a little bit, I don't know, maybe it's the mixed purple that's making it a little muddy, but we can go in and add some of the mixed purple in there. Can do that. Just play around with it. And we're just gonna play around with it like that. Yeah, I think next time I'm gonna do watercolor because this is definitely not my thing, but at least we'll see an improvement in my painting from when I started the course and when I finished the course, so that's a good thing. I'm just gonna loosen that up. And I think you also need to gesso your board first. But this is interesting, like just putting a very thin coat of the white-ish purple first. So why don't we do that? We're just gonna go in and do a very kind of like thin coat first, kind of building it up a little bit, keeping it light. I'm gonna go right over this because I'll probably build it up again after. I just love the way you can blend colors with acrylic. It's just, I find it really, really interesting. So we're just gonna go in here and go in there. And this is very dark here. So let's just lighten it up, play around with it. I might even delete this video if it ends up being horrible, but you never know. We're just gonna see. We're gonna play around with it. Yeah, note to self, definitely gesso the canvas first. But it's just fun playing with the colors to see how it goes. The more white, the better. Yeah, I think you really definitely need to add white for acrylics to bring out the colors for sure. So this could be like a little base coat thing. And then the petals up here are actually very, how do you say, they're very one color, like they're kind of like a more matte thing. So we could definitely go in with more white for these ones up here. And I don't mind the idea of doing like a very light kind of coat with the white and then going a little darker after. And the interesting thing is the more you look at things, the more you see. And I love that expression. The more you look, the more you see. Because right now I'm looking like this side of the petal compared to this side. This side is like quite a bit darker because it's got a shadow. So let me just get a little bit more white. It might be handy for you guys if I had a split screen so you could see what I'm drawing or what I'm painting, and then you can see like the results. So now if we add white to it to lighten it up a bit, it's definitely interesting. And then I'll go in and do the other side darker because it's very shadowy, but I'm really going in here with quite a bit of white. Hopefully you can see around here. It's not the best brush either. And sometimes it's good if you leave, like if it's not like perfect, like if you leave little bits of kind of texture. And then this side is more dark. So now we're going to go in with the purple, but more dark. Okay, this is straight out of the tube. So ideally you would want to mix your own purple, but I'm just doing it straight out of the tube. And I'm going to add a little water so it flows better. So we'll add a little bit of water, and then we're going to just go in and just like do a loose, because it is a little crinkly, that line. So we're just going to go in and do a loose little line, but I think we have to even add, like, They say not to add water. You're better to you add medium, like a kind of a matte medium or something, or a flow medium. I don't have one handy. I just have the water, but you ideally should maybe use more of a flow medium to get a because the water, adding water actually dilutes the color. You know, it kind of compromises the color of the paint. So now I need a thinner brush because this one is like getting a little bit yucky. So let me get a thinner brush if I can find one. I don't know if I brought a thinner brush. I don't have a lot of brushes for acrylic. Maybe this one's a little bit better. So I'm actually going to try this one. This one got too gobbed up with paint. That's the issue. So you should, you know, if your brush gets like that, you should definitely clean it. So I'm just going over here. Gonna get a little bit more water and go over here, and what I'll probably do is I'll just start this on the live and then I'll probably finish it on my own time, or I might even scrap it and do a watercolor one because yeah, I should have definitely how do you say, gessoed this board first. And I'm adding water, but what I should do is add like some kind of matte medium. We're gonna go in here and try to make these lines a little bit more smooth. So there we go. But that just shows you like the contrast of the shadowy side and the not shadowy side. So that's interesting. Do you have gum arabica? What's gum arabica? I'm curious about that. I definitely have the medium. In fact, because this is an experimental live stream, why don't I go get the mediums I have and we'll see how they work, because we're just going to experiment today. So let me go grab the mediums and then we'll see how that goes. They're just in my room. Give me like a minute. Okay, so I just grabbed some mediums from my room. So this is actually a pouring medium. A lot of people do like pouring acrylics, which is super fun. So that's awesome. I like that idea of doing that one day. And then I also have matte medium, which is a lot of people use that for photo transfer onto the canvas, which is fun. And then I have this a GAC 1000, which is another medium. So I could, and they also have something called a flow medium that you can mix with paint. So we can try that. And I'm just going to pour a little bit on here because I've never used this except for in a class. So what happens if we just put that and mix it with the paint? We can try that. So I'm just going to wash my brush and see what that does. Sorry, gum Arabic. I'm not sure what that is. Do not use pouring medium, will thin it down. Yes, so the pouring medium is for another project. Yeah, definitely don't use that because that's when you want to do that really drippy type stuff, and which would be fun to do another day. I've never really done one, so that would be cool. So now the thing is I would like to get like a nice color with this. So let's just try the medium because I really have never used it much. So I'm just going to play around with that. If we add a little bit of that, and then we're going to add a little bit of the ultramarine and see what that does. It does make like a pretty dark purple. So maybe a little bit too dark. Yeah, I definitely need more classes on color theory because it also could be the quality of the paints aren't the best. They're like student quality. So if we go in now on top, these are like quite dark. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do these with watercolors, I think, because this is a bit of a hot mess, but that's okay. What I'm doing is I'm going to practice on this, and then I'll bring it in next week to the teacher and see what she says, because let's get some of this, because I don't really know how to use acrylics. So we're just going to see. So if we add some, it does water down the paint quite a bit too, this one. So we're just going to bring that one in and bring that one around and up. Yeah, I'm just having fun with this. I'll probably just delete this video anyways. So you guys, we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out. It's all good. Bring this one around. Yeah, I just want to see what happens when you add, you know, colors and stuff. So, because this is quite red, and then if we go in and add a little bit of this like purple here, and then we can go in maybe with some medium and just, what happens if we just add the blue? So if we just add the blue there, it's interesting, gives it a little bit more contrast, and then we can go in with the purple in there and just play around with it and get some medium. Maybe add some white. Let's see what happens if we add, yeah, the white just kind of kills it and makes it like super gray, which is weird, but that's okay. I'm having fun. And up to here, right there, up here, and then up on that side. Bring that one here and in there. So we're going to do that. Play around with it. Yeah, I'm going to be binge watching acrylic tutorials this week for sure, because I always had trouble with acrylic, and now I see why, because it's very difficult. So what if we just get some white now, just for fun? Yeah, I think these with the watercolor would have been a much better bet. So there we go. We're just going to play around. Whee! Why not? Perfect. Yeah, the colors are not the best at all, but they're fun. Paints are not good quality or too transparent. Add a pinch of cornstarch. Whew, I've never heard that. That's an interesting idea. Adding cornstarch to paints. I like that idea. Yeah, and then I'm gonna just get a little bit of the yellow, just a little bit. Yeah, I'll definitely go check out your pictures in the group, Mustafa, after this. We're just gonna put a little bit of yellow in there, just for fun. There we go. Perfect. These are interesting. I mean, they're definitely not beautiful, but they're interesting. So now we're gonna do some underneath. So we're gonna get some more purple. I'm gonna get more of this nice Carmen. I like that one. Bubblegum gum. Yeah. There we go. So let's get this one. Let me know if you guys are painting as well. It'd be fun if you guys were painting too. And then I wouldn't feel like you're wasting your time watching me, because this is not going anywhere too quickly. So let's also add a little bit of white to that. And then we're just going to go around here. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, this one ends up being like a little muddy. There we go. And around here. Yeah, I would definitely be able to get better colors with watercolor. But this is sort of interesting, very dramatic. And then now add a little bit more of the red in here, a little bit more of this one. And we're gonna go around here. So there we go. There. And this one too. And around there. So there we go. celiac persons prepare meal with it. Interesting. When you eat what you paint. There we go. Perfect. So now we've got that. And we can maybe add, I don't know, like a little bit blue there or something. And then we can even add, if you hear them rumbling, that's my tummy. I don't know why I've eaten, so it's just making some noise. So let's go in here. And then up for that one, that was more like the light color. So I'm going to go back here and get some of the light purple going. So if we go back to this light purple with a little bit of white and then some more of the medium, and also a little bit of red in there, which is cool. And then we're just going to go in here and just kind of follow these lines here. Get a little more of the liquid medium in there. There we go. Yeah, the colors won't be accurate, but I'm having fun with it. So let's go back in here, get some more paint. It's probably better not to use too much water. The teacher last night actually said that she uses water to mix her acrylics. So I think there's a couple of different ways you can do it. Some people are more purist and they're like, no, don't mix water. You have to use the medium. So, but I think there's different ways to do it. And then we're going to go around here. Seeing you paint is the best utilization of my time. You're awesome. Oh my God, that is awesome. Even if I mess up, it's all good. It's fun. There we go. And yeah, it's late where you are too, Mustafa. So maybe this will help you fall asleep. Just me blabbering away about my painting or lack of ability to paint. So there we go. We're just going to keep going in here. Bring this one around. And then so once we have a basic kind of like blob like that, maybe we can go in and fix it up a bit. So if we add, how about we go in and let's go get some darker colors here. And then we're just gonna go, see, I'm just resting my finger on the paper to make it a little bit more stable. And then we're gonna go around, whoa, that's dark. And then around here, around there, that's kind of cool. And around there. So then we can go in and maybe just give it a little bit more. I'm not sure what we're going to do here. You know, the other thing that might be cool is to use one of those fan brushes. Oops, that made a bit of a mess. Let me just clean my brush and just go in here. So we could go in and do some, or a dry brush even would be good. You could definitely do like to get these lines, maybe do a more of a dry brush thing. That would work. So we're going to go in here. And now it's all about observing and just seeing where the lines are and going in with your brush and trying to do some interesting lines. We're going to go in here and around there. And then if you have highlights, you can clean your brush and get some more paint that has some white on it and do some kind of highlights. So if we just grab a little bit of paint, and then you can see, like, just look and see where you have some little highlights. That's not enough white. So we're going to go in and maybe mix up a little bit more paint with a little bit more white and just see if we can kind of get some highlights in there. So good. Those are a little muddy, but, and then around like there maybe, and little highlights there, because that's the magic of acrylic. You can really like pull out the highlights and things with white. So I don't know if that's super working, but that's okay. We're just going to play around with it and just play there. Yeah, it ends up being a little bit dark, but that's okay. I could even go back to it after. I could leave that and then go back after. And then I want to get some darker stuff going on there. So we can go back, get some darker, and just bring this one in here. Maybe get a little bit more of the actual purple. So I'm going to grab a little bit more of that. Take medium and blend some color a little. Yeah, that helps if you get some medium and just blend it up a little bit. Yeah, we can definitely do that. So I might go back to that. It's gonna dry, but that's all right. So let's get some more medium, bring it in here. I don't know if this is the best medium. I do have other flow mediums that I can try as well. Actually, some of the flow mediums are liquid. These ones are more gel, but I did have some that was more liquid that would probably be better. So I just don't know where they are. They're in my room somewhere. I'd have to dig for them. And I could even, if I wanted to flow, I could even add just a little water. It's all right, especially if you're layering. There's like, you can do whatever you want. So now we're gonna go in here and bring this one around a little bit more. Oh, my flower is gonna fall now. Bring that one in. And then I just want to make sure I have enough paint to go around the outside. So we're going to go in here, there, and bring that one down a bit and around here. So that one's a little bit too transparent. Probably have to go in after and do something with it. And the color is like super off too. So that's okay. We're just going to leave that one there for now. It makes an interesting contrast. And actually this one, maybe I want to make it more like that color. So what I would do is just get like a super transparent glaze, like really just, is this one open? Let's get a little bit more. And just, because that's the thing with acrylics is you can layer them, right? So say I want that one to be more like that one. I can just get like a really, really thin glaze. I got some blue on there. I don't know how I did that. And then do a little, let me get it on there. Do a little glaze. That's not enough. Now it's too dark. So, but we can go in and get some darker color similar to that and layer it up. So it makes it a little bit more in keeping with that color. Otherwise it's going to be too much of a contrast. Oops, that wasn't good, but I can fix that up after. And then that way it just makes it a little bit more congruent with that one. Otherwise it's like, ooh, too contrasty. And you can do the same thing here. We can go with like a very thin coat with the glaze, and you can give it a little bit of texture. So yeah, again, you can get more medium and just bring this one around. So that's the fun thing with acrylics. You can definitely like layer them out and stuff. And say I want to just like clean my brush again, and then I will mix more than I need. Yes, yeah, exactly. That I tend to like waste a bit of paint too. So now I'm actually like pulling some of the paint off a little bit. Like we're going in with our medium, and then we're just kind of pulling a little bit. So you could, that's two things you could do. You could remove paint with a little bit of the medium, or you can grab a teeny bit of white with some medium, and you can like highlight, see if we add more white with that. Acrylic paint is like magic, because like, look, if you just like go in with a little bit of white, it kind of brightens it up a little bit there. So you can definitely go in and add your light areas as you need in there with a little bit of white, a little bit of medium. If I had a finer brush too, that would work too. So yeah, just play around with it and see what works. And it just gives it a little bit more texture. And now this looks super flat, so I can go in with some more medium. I'm gonna grab a little bit more. Look at me talking like I know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's go in here and bring that one in here a little bit. We'll give it, and maybe we need a little bit more white though. Okay, we'll get a little bit more white, and just, yeah, we can give it a little bit more texture. That's not what I want. So I'm going to bring this one, these lines, now that I'm looking at them, they're like going more towards this way. I'm just looking, I'm just observing it. I'm just looking, and I'm going to bring these lines in a little bit like that. These lines ended up being a little bit more on the dark side. So I don't know if I can get some more of this purple. That might be interesting. Let's just get a little more of this purple because it ended up being a little bit brown. So we can go in and just like add some more purple in there too. Oh, I'll just layer it up. That's fine. Oh, looks a bit like a mess. That's all right. Some juicy highlights. Yes, there we go. That works. Okay, so now let's do a little bit more on this area. Now I've lost track of what area of the palette I use with for what. So now we're going to go in, maybe get this one. When in doubt, just whatever, go for it. And then you can always touch it up after. So we're going to go in here and bring that in there. So that's a little bit, just like a little bit of a layer thing there. And then we can go in. I'm going to get some finer brushes, I think, too. And I'm going to get some more mediums that work better. And then I could go in and just go in with a little bit of that. And then I could let that dry and deal with it later. And now we've got a bit of sort of a tangled mess in there. But it looks like there's quite a bit of white in there. So I'm going to mix up a bit of white. And I think I'm just gonna like fill that in for now, and then I'll deal with it in a minute. So I just want to fill in that area. This one too, I can see there's a definitely a petal in there. So I'm just gonna bring that one in here around there. Okay, so because I just wanted to fill it in a little bit, and then it looks like there's like sort of another petal thing happening in there. So I'm just gonna, it's sort of coming together. Oh my gosh, it's a bit of a mess, but that tells you that you should really persevere. Even if you think your work is a piece of garbage, you should probably still just work with it and persevere. So it's an analogy for life. There we go. So now let's go ahead and there's just a random little like petal thing in there, and I've seen what it is. And I'm just gonna try to do something that like kind of resembles the petal thing. There we go. And then this like that and like that. You can't really see it because it's just like in there, but it is part of the flowers. So, and then this one looks like we didn't bring it down enough. So I'm gonna go in here, get some darker paint. Acrylic dries so fast. So you really have to work fast with it. So this one seems to just like kind of comes down to here like that. It's really hard to see like that down there. And then this one, I might have to define it a little bit after. So we're going to go in here. So there's still quite a bit of contrast with some of the areas as well. So let me just go ahead in with a little bit of, maybe just go in here. I'm going to bring this one petal over a little bit more. And yeah, my colors are really drying now. So I'm just going to bring this one up in there a little bit more. And bring that one in here. And then I could always define it later. I'm going to go and I'm going to leave the flower for now, I think, and do a bit of the stem. Actually, what I want to do first is just a little bit more of the yellow area. So I'm actually going to mix a little bit of white with it and go in here. There we go. Because I found the yellow parts to be a little bit too like you can't see them. So I'm just going to kind of build that up a little bit with a bit of the white so we can see that a little bit better, and bring this one down, build it up a little bit more. So we're going to bring it a little bit, just a little bit, because with the white they'll show up better. That might be, that didn't work too bad. Yeah, we don't want too much in there either. And then we can even go in and if there's not enough yellow in it, you can always mix up a little bit more yellow in that to be sure. So, because the yellow wasn't showing up until you added a little bit of white. So you definitely need, like Mustafa said, you definitely need white with the acrylic so the areas will show up. So there's that. And then actually over here you can't see it, but there is more yellow inside a little bit. And then even over here, you can't see it, but there was more yellow in here. I probably should have done a background color too. So there's that. And then I'm gonna get some green. Looks real. Oh, thank you. Wow. Add medium to get them fresh. You're doing wonderfully. Oh, thank you guys. Wow, because it's very easy to get discouraged. And I don't have a great color sense, so I really appreciate the feedback. So now let's get some green. I'm gonna put some green on my palette. Oh, this got cut off a little bit. Let me bring that over. So also I'm running out of room on my palette, so I just put plastic on here. And what I can do is just move it over a little bit maybe and get a little more space for the green. So there we go. And let us get some, this is like kind of my style of painting too, like very like solid, moody kind of like imagery. Like I like that kind of thing. And sometimes you can't push yourself away from your style. Like that's the thing with painting, is you want to be true to your own style and your own vibe that you want to get across. And sometimes we can't control how our work turns out, even if you're trying to do it a certain way. Like often our own personality comes out as well. So I just put a bunch of random colors on here, and I'm going to try to mix a green that works. And there's also this green out of the tube that might be interesting. So this one is called cadmium green hue, which I've never heard of cadmium green, and kind of looks like, I don't know, I'm not sure about that green. It looks like there's a lot of white in it, so I'm not sure I'm going to use that one. But then there's green, Veronis green. Is that like Viridian green? I'm not sure. So let's just look at these. Ooh, no, I don't want to use that one. So there we go. Let's stick with this palette. Let's use also the ultramarine, because if you go back and look at our handy dandy coloring chart, this was the ultramarine. No, this is ultramarine blue to the orange, and this is not the color. This is not the color wheel I want to look at. I want to look at this one. So if you want to choose your green, I'm liking this green. The ultramarine green is looking a little bit more on the muddy kind of really earthy green, whereas this green with the cyan is more of a vibrant green. So why don't we go for, let's get the cyan instead of the ultramarine. And oh, you have to go. Thanks so much for hopping on, Mustafa. It must be late for you. Oh my goodness, get some sleep. And thanks so much. And you can, maybe I won't delete the video then. I'll just keep it on and people can go on the journey with me if they would like. I'm going to grab a little sip of water. Yeah, have an amazing night. And now we are going to, so this is the cyan, which is a primary blue. And then this yellow, let's use the cadmium yellow, because that's what I used in my color wheel. And we're going to clean our brush again, and maybe I'll get some medium ready over here if we need it. And let's start mixing a bit of a green. So if we take the yellow here, this yellow is really thick. I think it's just the paint itself was, I don't know if the tube was open or it got too thick, but it is quite thick. So if we mix the cadmium yellow with the cyan blue, which is like a primary blue, it should make a nice green. So it's almost making a turquoise green, but we also might want to add a bit of white. So let's get some fresh white, because I don't want to have any little bits of other color in there. So if we put some white over there, and there we go. Oh, my absolute pleasure, Mustafa. And I'm going to hop over to the art group after this to see your paintings. I can't wait. You're so talented. So now we've added the white. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not, but we're going to see. We're going to add some more yellow here. This is a little bit on the dark side, but we can see how it goes. So if I'm going to mix this, I can go over it after. So I'm going to go in and just do my leaf for now. Let's bring this up so you guys can see it. There we go. So we're gonna just go like that. And then this one too. And then maybe what I'll do is after the live stream, I'll just do like a background or something. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this one. Hi Miriam, I'm just finishing up. Come on in. I'm just doing one on my art live stream. Mustafa just hopped off. He was watching for a while, and I'm just gonna finish. I'll be done in 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna go get my glasses adjusted.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so there we go. Connie says, I saw one of his paintings, very nice. Awesome, I can't wait to go see. So now we are going to just like maybe add a little bit of white in there to give it a little bit of oomph. I'm gonna actually get more yellow too. We can go in and add some more yellow. Bring that and just giving it a little bit of interest, because you don't want it like flat out of the tube type of thing. So I'm just like, I'll just add a little bit of interest there, and then I'm gonna do this stem. Let me just bring this one like that. We'll just do the stem, and then like I said, I'll do the background after the live stream. So I'm just gonna see if we can see from here. I can't even see where the stem goes underneath, so I'm not gonna worry too much about that. And there doesn't seem to be any like green in there. I'm looking to see if there's green in the flower. Sorry, I'm just gonna peek inside, but there isn't really. I mean, you can add a bit of green, but it might look a little odd. So I think I'm gonna stop there. I'll just finish up and make sure there's that one there and just get that in a little bit more. And then, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do more detail, like this is, I don't know if you guys can see, but this is the leaf. So there's not like that much detail in it. I guess towards the bottom too, you could make it like a little lighter towards the bottom, but you can't really see the bottom. So I'm not gonna worry too much about that. So I think I'm gonna stop there. So that's it for now, guys. It's not horrible. It definitely needs work. I'm gonna flip the screen and say goodbye. And then every week I'm gonna try to do a little live stream after my Wire Lady TV. So every week around, I guess around 3 o'clock or something. So let me just flip the screen. There we go. So thank you guys so much for watching. That was super fun. So here's the painting. I'll put a picture somewhere, and keep working on the acrylics. I'll let you know how it goes. And yeah, we'll see you guys the next time, and we'll see you maybe in the wire group and stuff. Oh, Kristen, thanks so much for hanging out for all the time, and we'll see you probably Saturday night for our art night. Hopefully Patricia can join us, and have a great rest of the day, rest of the night. And my horrible is fantastic. Oh, thank you so much. And I used to love painting at the cottage. Oh, cool, awesome. And yeah, so we'll see you guys the next time. Thanks so much for hanging out for so long. Talk to you soon. Bye.